Welcome back to the Recognisably Different podcast, guys. Thank you again for tuning in. We've been blessed the last couple of days with some warm weather, but it's quite cold today. This is the first time I've actually put a hoodie on for a long while. And the hoodie that I'm wearing is our faded. I was calling this taupe, but it's just taupe. This is the faded taupe hoodie, which you can get on the website distinct44.com. I think obviously on a warm day because it's quite thick. You're not really going to want to wear a hoodie like this on a warm day, but definitely as we start getting into the autumn and winter months, these hoodies will be really good for that. And then obviously the colour of the garment as well, with it being faded, it just gives it that sort of vintage look and feel as well. And yeah, so today's topic of discussion, obviously, for those of you that watched the last video, I put a poll up on Instagram, and this specific topic got quite a good response in terms of it's something that a lot of people wanted to see. So yeah, we're just going to delve straight into that today. Sleep is probably one of, if not the most important thing that we have control over when it comes to recovery. I think, again, people are searching for the secret to recovery. They're searching for supplements, like they're searching for routines, like what's the perfect mobility routine, what's the perfect stretching routine, what are the best supplements to take to promote recovery. Yet they don't really seem to be concerned with sleep, or potentially if sleep's not in a good place, I would always look at addressing sleep before even considering supplements. Like if you're getting less than like 5 hours sleep, 5-6 hours sleep a night, you do not need supplements to try and improve your recovery. You'll be much better off trying to follow the tips and advice that I'm going to give you to improve your sleep and be getting 7, 8, 9 hours sleep. And you will find that you will recover a lot better. And as a result of that, you'll be able to train harder, train better, train more effectively and efficiently. So yeah, I've made a little list of like bullet points that I want to go over. There's quite a lot on here. I can't remember how many I did now, but yeah, I'm just going to go over each point. I want to try and keep it short and concise. I don't want to like waffle on about too much on each topic. I just want to give as much sort of points and advice across as I can. And then obviously I'm going to be talking from experience and what I've done and what's worked for me personally as well. So I think a good place to start, and again, this has worked very well for me specifically, is having a consistent... I knew he'd ring me now. My dad said, I'll ring you at 9:30. 10 past 10. What fucking time do you call this? Hello? Yeah, I'm recording now. You're going to be in the video.
Right. I've got... Mama says if you wanted to go and get a bike, he'd give you the money to get one. Or we could go and get one Saturday if you're not busy. It's up to you. I don't know where you...
I've got that video shoot on Saturday, haven't I?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, well, I'll ring Mama as well and speak to her as well. But I've got to go.
All right. Right, cheers. Bye.
Right, see you in a bit. Bye. Legend. Shout out to Mama Judith, bless her. Yeah, I'm looking at getting a bike. Totally off topic, but yeah, I'm looking at getting a bike. I want to start clocking up some miles on a bike. So I mentioned about borrowing my dad's, but he paid like 20 quid for it, and it's literally falling apart. I don't think I'd make fucking 2 kilometres on it, never mind 20. I'm not going to let her give me the full money towards it. I'll put some towards it myself and get a better one. So yeah, where was I? Yeah, consistent sleep and wake cycle. So this has worked perfect for me. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of you that are watching this that work shifts, that work nights. So it's impossible for you to have a consistent sleep and wake cycle, which I get that. And that's a big reason why that sort of work is very bad for your health in the long run, because of the effects that it has on your sleep. So again, I know it's not as easy as saying, oh, well, just quit your job and find a job that's a 9 to 5 or that's a consistent sort of routine to it. So yeah, I'll preface this by saying that for those of you that do work shifts, by working shifts, it is making it 10 times harder for you to have good sleep and to improve your sleep quality. It's going to be very difficult. But if you can get in the habit of being consistent with that sleep-wake cycle, so again, for me at the minute, I'm in bed typically between probably 9:30, 10 p.m. every night, and I am up between, again, it varies how early I start work, but I tend to get up probably between 5 and 5:30 a.m. And I stick, even on weekends, and that's where a lot of people go wrong. They'll get up early for work in the week, and they might go to bed early in the week because they know they've got to be up early for work, but then it comes to the weekend, and that whole wake-sleep cycle is completely out the window. You're staying in bed late in the morning, you're staying up late at night, going out, and then it comes to Monday, and you're back up early again, and that's when you wake up and you feel sluggish, you feel groggy, you feel tired, because you've not been consistent with it. So if you're in a position to be able to be more consistent with your sleep and wake cycle, that is where I would start. I think another important thing to note is caffeine intake. So again, I would look at setting yourself a caffeine curfew of around 2 to 3 p.m. Caffeine has a half-life of roughly probably between like 4 and 6 hours. It's all person specific, but roughly between that time. So if you have 200 milligrams of caffeine at 5 p.m, by, again, potentially 8, 9, 10 p.m, there is still going to be 100 milligram of caffeine in your system. So if you can set yourself that curfew and not have any caffeine past 2, 3 p.m, that should promote a better sleep. Caffeine won't necessarily affect your ability to fall asleep, because I've had this conversation with multiple people, like including my dad. I remember my dad used to have a coffee at 9 p.m. before bed, and he would say, "Oh well, I still get to sleep sound." And yes, you might do, but it is going to affect the quality of sleep while you are actually sleeping. In terms of, you're probably not going to be getting much deep sleep, much REM sleep, which is that stage that you need to be in for your body to be in its restorative state and promote that recovery that we're looking for. So yeah, set yourself a caffeine curfew. If you're really adamant that you want to have that you want to have a coffee after that period, or whatever form of caffeine you're having, try and opt for non-caffeine energy drinks. Again, if you train late in the evening, try not to be smashing pre-workout. There's plenty of non-stim pre-workouts, so pre-workouts that have no caffeine in. You can get decaf teas, decaf coffee, so you can still have that, but without the effects that caffeine is going to have on your sleep. And then another sort of simple thing that you can do is, again, try and limit food and water intake pre-bed, and try to limit screen time and blue light exposure pre-bed. So regarding the food and drink, again, obviously, if you're eating too close to bed and you're then going to sleep, your body is still digesting and processing this food, which again is, your body doesn't want to be doing that stuff when you're going to bed. So again, that is potentially going to have a negative impact on your sleep, because your body is doing these functions that it doesn't really want to be doing while you're sleeping. And then again, from a drink perspective, so we'll touch on just normal, like if you say you're drinking water, fizzy drinks, whatever, and then alcohol as well. So again, if you're drinking too close to bed, that's going to increase the likelihood of you waking up in the middle of the night needing to go to the toilet. If you're constantly waking up every hour, every other hour, or multiple times throughout the night, and you're disrupting that sleep cycle, again, that's going to affect your sleep, and you're not going to be getting into the deep sleep and the REM sleep stages. And then again, alcohol. So alcohol, again, the effects that alcohol has on your sleep is massive, again, regarding your ability to get into deep sleep. And again, it's similar with caffeine. Yes, it's not going to always affect your ability to fall asleep. Anyone that's ever been on a big night out and got absolutely bladdered, you know that as soon as you get home at whatever time it is in the morning, as soon as your head hits the pillow, you're pretty much out. So it doesn't affect your ability to fall asleep, but the quality of that sleep is going to be absolutely trash, mainly due to the dehydration effects that alcohol has on the body. Hence why you then wake up hungover and you feel like shit. Yeah, so blue light exposure, so that is trying to reduce stuff like being on your phone or watching TV, which again I know is difficult because everybody loves to just sit and watch TV in an evening. Like, people will sit in bed scrolling Instagram, TikTok. But again, if you can just, like, 1 hour before bed, put the phone away, maybe read a book, maybe just do something that doesn't involve looking at screens, or I don't listen to a podcast, listen to some relaxing music. Again, it's so simple to do, and the effects that it will have on your sleep is massive. And if you're adamant that you really do want to watch TV and you want to be on your phone pre-bed, get yourself, I've got a pair, blue light blocking glasses. So they're just glasses that are like tinted orange. So when you have them on, everything looks orange. So it reduces that blue light coming in, because again, essentially that blue light is trying to actually wake your body. It's almost stimulating your brain more and trying to wake you up more. And yeah, on the topic of waking you up and stimulating more, I've just remembered a point actually that I've not wrote down on here, which is trying to get some sunlight in as soon as you can in the morning. So again, that was something that I've started implementing, trying to get a little walk in the morning, even if it's just 5-10 minutes. If you can get out and you can get in some morning sunlight, that's really going to help your body to regulate your circadian rhythm, which is just the fancy word for sleep cycle. And it's going to help your body to build up that melatonin, which is your sleep hormone, throughout the day. And then in the evening time, that sleep hormone, then your body then starts releasing that, which again, it's just really good for your overall sleep cycle. Like, the two just really go hand in hand, and will improve your sleep quality tenfold. And there other simple stuff that you can do as well to promote a deeper sleep is just stuff like eye masks, blackout blinds to make sure that your room is as dark as possible, because again, you're going to struggle to fall asleep in a room that's very heavily lit. So you want to try and make your room as dark as possible. I've never used them personally, but my mum absolutely swears by earplugs. Although I'd always be wary that I would just sleep through my alarm with the earplugs in, because I won't hear it. And then like room temperature as well. Again, everyone's different. Some people actually prefer probably a warmer room, whereas some people prefer to get into bed when it's cool. So trying to do everything that you can to make the room as cool as possible, whether that's with a fan, a little aircon unit. So yeah, everyone is different in that sense when it comes to like what your ideal room temperature is to sleep in. But the room temperature again will positively impact your ability to fall asleep. I would also look at, where possible, trying to actually avoid napping. A lot of people get this mixed up, and they end up napping for like way too long, like 1, 2, 3 hours, which is almost like your body almost sees that as more of a sleep than a nap. So if you're going to nap, try and keep it short, sweet, 30 minutes to an hour earlier on in the day. Don't do it too close to your bedtime, just because again that may affect your ability to fall asleep at your usual time, and you won't fall asleep till a little bit later. I think the best way to see where your sleep is at now, and if you're going to start then implementing these things, seeing how it then gets better, is obviously tracking your sleep. So there's plenty of ways you can do it. When I first started tracking my sleep, I used to wear a Polar H10 heart rate monitor on my chest, and I would connect that to, I think the app was called Sleep Cycle. Don't know if that still exists now, but there's plenty of sleep tracking apps out there, some free and some paid for ones. So yeah, I used to use that for a little while. That gave me a very good understanding of where my sleep was at. I then switched to an Aura ring, and I've been using an Aura ring now for the last 3 years. So you just wear it on your finger, you don't realise that it's there, and then it gives you all your data on an app. So it tracks your body temperature, your heart rate, your HRV, tells you how long you spent in each sleep stage, so light, deep, REM, how long you were awake. Because again, just because you're in bed for 9 hours a night doesn't mean you're sleeping for 9 hours. I think when I look back on my data, I can spend anywhere between probably, I think, an hour and 15 up to probably an hour and 45 minutes actually awake, like without even realizing it, because my heart rate gets up to a certain beats per minute. So again, if I'm in bed for 9 hours, but I'm awake for an hour and a half of that, that's only 7.5 hours of sleep. So that's why tracking can be very helpful for you to really look into the numbers and get a better understanding of how little you potentially are actually sleeping. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this episode up here, guys. I know this was a very informative podcast in terms of I got quite technical on a lot of the stuff. I use a lot of technical terminology, so hopefully that hasn't just all gone over your head and you have taken some value and some useful information from this episode. If there's anything that you want further clarification on, any questions that you've got on anything that I've spoke about, again, just drop a comment below, and I'll be more than happy to answer any of those questions. If you did find the video useful, please do drop it a like, and if you are new around here, don't forget to subscribe so you do not miss out on any future episodes. As always, thank you for tuning in, guys, and I will see you next time.